Minimalism is about so much more than just decluttering physical items from your life. It's about getting rid of the excess so that you can make room for what matters most to you in your life. But undoubtedly, as your hobbies, your interests, and just life in general happens, you will acquire more items. And so today I thought I'd take you along on my monthly declutter and share with you the 10 items that I'm going to be decluttering this month and why, in case you're feeling stuck in your decluttering process or you'd just like to start with minimalism and need some ideas to figure out where to begin. So what I'll be doing is I'll first share the item that I'm going to be getting rid of, and then I'll explain to you the kind of category that you can look for in your own home. The first item on this list for me is a faux leather case for my pair of shears. Now, where this applies to you would be pretty containers or boxes for things that you purchase that you don't need or you're not even using, but they're pretty boxes. Like your iPhone box, a computer box that you have lying around, those sorts of things. You keep them because they're good quality boxes and you don't want to just throw them away, but you're not using them. So in my case, I had to purchase a new pair of shears. This was actually months ago because I do my own hair, my family's hair, and I had kept the case, even though I could very well have just put my shears in my own little makeup pouch. That saves me room, it saves me space, and I don't have to get that pouch and my makeup pouch when I'm doing my eyebrows, for example. So look through your house and look for any pretty boxes or bags that you have no use for and give yourself permission to get rid of them. The second one for me was actually difficult for me to get rid of. I went back and forth whether or not I should do this, and it's unused electronics. For me specifically, a gimbal. For this YouTube channel, I had purchased a very expensive gimbal, the Zhiyun Crane Weeble Lab, I think it's called, and it is an awesome gimbal. However, it didn't really fit my needs for my lifestyle because it was difficult to kind of balance. It wasn't difficult once I learned, but it required a lot of time and steps to take it off the gimbal, put it back on the camera, and maneuvering that with my kids and my full-time job, it didn't work out. I never ever used it because it's so much easier for me to use this selfie stick, which I actually have right here, but it's extendable and it's foldable and just so much nicely in a bag versus having a gimbal while carrying around kids and running after them. It didn't work. And so I had to kind of give myself the forgiveness that I purchased this expensive item and didn't use it. So for you, what this could be is items that you have purchased and spent a lot of money on, but you know you're not going to be using them. Sometimes when we purchase really expensive items and then we don't end up using them, we attach guilt to it. And that's what keeps us from getting rid of it to begin with, because we feel almost like we're gonna lose money if we get rid of that item. But see, the thing is, we've already spent that money. That money's already gone. So what I did with my gimbal is I sold it online. Of course, I didn't make the same amount of money that I paid for it to begin with, but at least I know that now it will go to a home where it will actually be used. This next one is big bulky furniture or furniture that you're not using. My husband had made this chest, well, I guess it's a media console, back when we had a TV and he used to play video games. We don't have either of them anymore and we didn't have a use for it. However, we still had it up in our attic for 2 years because, hey, maybe someday we'll need it or maybe someday we'll use it. My sister had actually just moved out recently and so we gifted it to her. Sometimes though, big bulky items, if you just keep them in your house, you're gonna find something to put inside them. And not only that, but it's just causing a lot of clutter in your home. Think of the amount of space that they're taking up that you could have opened up if you would get rid of some of these items. So look around and see what kind of big bulky furniture pieces maybe you can get rid of. This next one is a black fancy dress. It's one of those items that I think it's just nice for me to look at. However, I never really gravitate towards because if I wear it, I feel like I'm maybe too dressed up or too uncomfortable. It's maybe a little too snug here. It's pretty to look at, but I don't wear it. And so those sorts of items really shouldn't belong in your closet. All of the clothes that you have should make you feel good, should accentuate the best parts of you. Try to get rid of those maybe someday items. Next, we head off to the kitchen, and this is the category of food. Food that you're never going to eat. So I was recently on the keto diet, and I had purchased a whole bunch of things specifically for that I didn't really end up using. And so I decided that I was going to donate these to someone else that would use them, but look around too at things that have been expired or things that you bought because you were gonna make that one specialty item and then you realize, yeah, that's not gonna happen. Consider getting rid of those. This next one for me is moonshine, and I'm not really one that really typically drinks alcohol, but I had recently been in Tennessee, and Tennessee is very well known for its moonshine. And because I was on the keto diet at that time, I couldn't try it, and they had a chocolate coffee moonshine. And I love chocolate and coffee, and I was just curious about what they're well known for, and so I decided I'm gonna gonna take one home and just try it at home and see what it's like. And then I got home and I tried it, and it just, it was strong stuff. It just was not for me. And so I had kept it and I'd tried it and I'd sip it every now and then I'd realize I'm not gonna drink this. This is not for me. It's not my thing. I tried it, okay, I didn't like it. It's fine. I can let it go. So yeah, I poured it down the drain. So I guess where this can apply as a category for things that you can look for in your own home is those items that you decided you were going to try, but then you didn't end up liking. Don't keep those. If it's not for you, it's not something that you enjoy, give yourself permission to get rid of it. This next one is paper related, and I had recently gotten rid of our Vitamix recipe book because I realized that I am not one that will typically follow a recipe anyway. And even though this book was really beautiful and it felt kind of soft on the front, it had beautiful pictures, I realized if I'm not ever going to use it, I shouldn't just keep it boxed up and taking up space in our home. And then also we have an Espresso machine that I had the manual for. Manuals, you can download pretty much anything online or just look up a YouTube video on how to do something, which is typically what I go to. That is actually how I figured out how to clean the machine, was a YouTube video. Maybe it's not the wisest idea, I don't know. Let me know in the comments, do you read manuals or don't you? These next two items are old hobbies or things that I know that I used to love that I don't anymore. So for me, I used to really enjoy chalk painting. That furniture piece that I actually showed you was one that I painted, and I enjoyed that. I love that. I still really enjoy painting, but not chalk paint. Painting homes, renovating kind of thing. And so I had all of these paints that I knew that I wasn't going to be using because I hadn't used them in years. And so it was time for them to find a new home. And same thing goes with some cake decorating supplies. I had an assortment of things because I know how to decorate cakes. I had taken classes before. I can make flowers and pretty designs, and it's something that I enjoyed years ago, but it's not something that I enjoy now. I would much rather pay somebody money to make me a cake now than for me to make it myself. It's just not enjoyable anymore. When I was getting rid of these items, it was hard because it was almost like letting go of a piece of my past. And so I had to kind of get around that by telling myself getting rid of these items doesn't mean that it's getting rid of my past, getting rid of my memories. I can still hold on to those memories, take pictures or videos of things that I had done in the past, and so I can keep those without keeping the physical items. So maybe if you had hobbies that you no longer enjoy, consider maybe taking a photo or a video of them so that you can kind of have a way to keep a memory of them without actually keeping that item. This next category may not apply to you, but that is kids' toys. Inevitably, kids just tend to acquire more toys, even though we haven't purchased toys for them in a while. And so periodically, I just kind of go throughout the house and check for those toys that never get played with. If I do think that they just haven't played with them in a while, but they may play with them again, what I'll do is I'll just box them up in a closet for a few months and then take them out and do what's called a toy rotation, where I take out some toys and give them other toys. That way I don't have so much clutter, and at the same time they get kind of new toys every few months. And that is the 10 items that I am decluttering this month. I hope that in sharing this, it's been helpful to you and given you some ideas of things that you can get rid of so that you can make room for what matters most in your life. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you won't miss when I post a new video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.